The very first sermon I ever preached was on the Great Commission, this text in Matthew 28 about making disciples in the whole world and teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you. And at that time, I was like, that seems like really essential, this teaching them to obey. But you can't teach someone to obey what you haven't learned to obey yourself.
And where do you learn to do that?
Well, you hope that you learn it in church, but I think lots of times, and this is me saying this as a preacher, we just hope that we're going to get it through sermons.
Right.
But I think sometimes there's a different approach needed in a way to refresh our discipleship journey. And so I'm personally very excited to lean in as a whole church to an experimental autumn to deepen our discipleship through Pathways. It's going to form us in our way of learning about Jesus and practicing following him that will be less spectator and more engaged. Not that I'm saying our whole church is spectators, but I think sometimes it's good to just go at it a little bit differently. So we've got this plan for the fall to do Discipleship Pathways. Why don't you describe what pathways we have?
So we have Alpha. Some of you may have heard of Alpha. As it sounds, an origin story, the beginning of the faith, of being a Christian or following Jesus. Some big questions there, some big macro questions. Who am I? How do I fit into this story? Some of those beginning of your faith stories will be very, very pertinent to going through Alpha. The second track, Practicing the Way, is really how do we put boots on the ground? How do we live this out over our lifetime? What are some of the practices that we can continue to do? And how can we learn from one another and trust one another as a community of faith following the teaching of Jesus?
So less hoping that everybody will learn how to do the things Jesus said to do, but intentionally shaping that journey.
And some of us are more scholarly, and some of us are perhaps more experiential in our understanding and our discovery of faith as a community. So this is a really good way to get us all on the same page, working together at the same pace.
Yeah.
And so we're really hoping it will actually foster relationship. It will foster questions. It will foster our learning as a community in a way that we haven't intentionally done before.
And I think deepening our engagement with the Holy Spirit in a different way. So the big piece you probably need to know about our autumn experiment with Discipleship Pathways is that it will mean we won't offer a church service every Sunday. We'll be offering a church service twice a month, and alternating Sundays there'll be Pathways as well as Tuesdays. And one of the things people have kind of freaked out about when they first heard about it is, well, what about worship, ministry time, communion? We're like, no, that can still be part of, practicing the way, Discipleship Pathway or the Vineyard Leadership Essentials Pathway, which we're doing with our core leaders in the church. So you don't have to feel like it won't be real church. It's not like going to school, but it is a different way of engaging our formation as followers of Jesus.
So you mentioned VLE, Vineyard Leadership Essentials. That is reserved for those currently leadership in our church, as we refer to it as community shapers. So that's more of an invite only. But
it is a third pathway that we want you to know we're doing. And we just really invite you to consider prayerfully over the month of August, what pathway will you join? What could you be asking God to do in and through our community this fall? How will it cause us to deepen our roots with Jesus so we can grow and flourish and lead many more on this path of discipleship with Jesus? Actually teaching others to obey, what he taught us or what he's invited us into.
So we encourage you to click the links, have a look at the introduction videos for Alpha and for Practicing the Way, and we'll see how the Lord leads. Yeah. Pick one of those. It won't be the only time you get to choose one of these pathways. We're hoping that indeed, if you do Alpha this time round, there will be a time next year that we can lean into for you to do Practicing the Way and vice versa.
Okay. Bless you.